And I did want to quickly touch on the bracket itself. Exclamation mark B in the chat, by the way, if you want to have a look at it alongside us. And there are just so many good players. Ragnarok is back, Rogue is back, DRG, Creator. One of the big matchups that unfortunately we're not going to be getting into is Patience versus Armani. Like, they're dark, like there's so many good players, special, and oh god, I
cry every time, like, we miss boys.
What I'm saying is multi-twitch it up, you know?
Multi-twitch it up. As we do have a couple of other streams coming on today, but we'll talk about that a little bit later. As we load on to Lightshade LE, we're in the bottom right-hand corner of the map, sweating all the way in the bottom right-hand corner. We have the Blues player coming down from the land of Korea. He is going to be representing KyZ Gaming, KZG. The genius himself, the brightest player in Korea, you could argue, or potentially not, but look, I'm trying to make a pun here. We have Solar.
And spawning in the top left-hand corner of Lightshade LE, we have the South Korean Terran player, the Red Terran, who is currently teamless. It is ByuN.
And we've just about come out from ByuN's TVP. We see that, you know, he really wants to apply as much pressure on his opponent as he can. And I imagine the TvZ, it'll be a similar strategy, but with some very different tactics.
Oh yeah.
Immediately picking the Reaper.
That's the crazy thing. We do see that Solar, he immediately sent his overlords to the south and to the north, just in case ByuN was, you know, going back to his roots and going for a proxy. I believe we saw that last week as well, coming out from ByuN.
Something like, yeah, we did see it a little bit in a TvT, if I'm not wrong. And if I remember correctly, it was actually Dream that did this against Solar a couple of times last week. It was either Dream or... No, I'm pretty sure it was Dream.
It was Dream, but it was against Dongregu, I believe.
Right.
As I believe that was the
finals.
Yeah, that was the grand final.
So crazy.
It was. So Solar, he's just making sure that ByuN is playing straight up. But again, I love how, you know, Solar, he's playing it safe, and ByuN, he's playing it greedy by skipping that Reaper.
Yeah, kind of playing into his reputation a little bit here. A little bit of metagaming going on. I'm definitely a fan. And this is an interesting opening coming out from ByuN. So at its core, it is still a 1-on-1 with Hellions, but no Reaper. Instead, ByuN is focusing a lot more on the Marines, really just trying to get a defense out here instead of being active with the Reaper.
Yeah. Obviously, the big disadvantage to this is that it delays your scout. If Solar was going for some kind of like big two-base like roach aggression or something along those lines, then it would be really difficult for ByuN to scout that, and he'd be in a lot of trouble. But Solar, he's playing this out pretty standard, so ByuN is getting away with, you know, being greedy and skipping the scout.
I have to wonder how much of that's a map gamble. You know, you look at Lightshade, a map like this, where massive wide open. It is not quite the Eternal Empire of this map pool, but it is still hard to rush.
Yeah, exactly. Like, this isn't a map like, I don't know, like Submarine or something like that, right? Or even Jagannatha, where, like, because of something like the speed zones, it can be a little bit faster to go across the map. And, ooh, we do see the armory is being thrown down for ByuN. Oh boy.
And that's the real reason why he went with the Marines earlier on. Trying to get as potent of a timing with this opening as he can.
Exactly, he's going to have so many more Marines to back this up, alongside these 4 Hellions that, of course, will be morphed into Hellbats. Meanwhile, Solar, he so far has not scouted the main base, but it looks like he knows something's up as he immediately throws down the spine.
Yep, really going to be having some sort of a backup here for the defense, and here comes as many units as Solar can muster out. Forcing cancel on that spine is absolutely key right now for ByuN. More Hellions starting to get warped in. No. Driven in, and the Queens, I gotta tell you, like, they're getting low. One of them already taken out.
They are getting low. Yeah, it is pretty cool that they did focus on the medevac, so no more healing. Looks like the Lings may be enough, but it looks like another Queen does fall. Only 1 remaining. Well, 2, sorry.
That one just popped out. It doesn't count.
Oh god, and the other does fall. It's so close to going down. Looks like a spine may finish up. And you know what's important, Solar? He hasn't lost that many workers.
Yeah, I don't think he's lost even a single one. Or he's only lost a single one. Has lost a lot of queens, which is definitely a bit of an expensive loss, but it is not something that is gonna, it's not something that's gonna be a domino effect, right, for Solar. Queens, they're expensive, sure, but you can remake them. Drones, yeah, every second you don't have drones is another second that ByuN is getting more and more ahead.
Yeah, exactly. And oh, there we go. Finally, a couple of drones do go down. 3 fall again, forces all the drones off the line at the third base. And what's important is that he was able to kill so many queens. How many, if I quickly check? 5 queens have gone down, and that's going to help the follow-up Banshee do so much more damage.
Absolutely will. I mean, now there's just a lot less anti-air coming out from Solar. He was even made that spine crawler earlier on instead of something like a spore crawler. So many aliens try to come in. They do warp right on top of spine range though, and that weakens it a little bit. I don't see any detection coming out right now here for Solar.
None at all.
Spore crawler trying to be made, but
exactly, the spores are made, but you know what? The spore immediately goes down here at the third base. Another queen falls. Only 3. Okay, 4 do come in as well. All the queens come in from the main base, and it looks like he may have enough to clean up. Again, he immediately pulls his drone, so he's not losing too many workers.
Yeah, which is absolutely key right now for Solar, but this one Banshee is just doing so much damage. The queens are about to be taken out. Or not quite yet. The Hellbat's being cleaned up. But again, more and more damage has been done. More and more drones have been going down, and ByuN, he's not slouching. He is making sure that, he's taking advantage of his advantage.
Yeah, exactly. He's just trying to harass as much as he can, keep Solar on his side of the map. But you know what? Solar realizes this, so immediately he sends his Lings across the map to try and deal some damage. But oh, the wall's not a wall!
No! Wall light! And that is quite a number of Lings. ByuN forced to pull the boys, but I'm not convinced he's gonna be able to get out of here without too many losses. 6 SCVs already going down. And just like that, Solar, he's even up the worker count pretty much. Sure, ByuN has tools, but
exactly, like it's such a shame to see. Like ByuN, as soon as that happened, he immediately throws down the supply depot. Like he thought the wall was completely sealed. We all did. Not even Solar was expecting the hole in the wall, and he just slips on in, gets 6 SCV kills, and because of that, like Solar, he's in a pretty good position economically.
Yeah, he's sitting comfy on 3 bases. He's got a pretty good drone count for this stage of the game. He's pretty much free to just make units, right, for the next stage of his defense. That's all he really has to focus on for a little while.
Yeah, definitely. Again, the Banshee does finally get sniped. He got pretty close to denying +1 melee, which would have been amazing, but in the end, it did decide to rotate around, got taken out, but did manage to get a couple of worker kills, and here we do see ByuN. He's going for the follow-up. He does have stim, and it looks like +1 should finish up by the time this hits.
Yeah, 1-1 upgrades, absolutely essential right now, and ByuN, I think the important thing to keep in mind is that he is hitting at just about the perfect timing. Solar really caught with his pants down. He is morphing a couple of Banelings right now, but still insanely behind in the army count. GG immediately called. ByuN taking game number 1. Didn't even need a final engagement there. Solar, he realized what position he was in.
Exactly, he didn't have any Banelings ready, and he was up, 10, 15 workers compared to ByuN. Like, he droned up heavily. He was not expecting that big counterattack, and yeah, he just wasn't ready for it. He didn't have any kind of spotter out on the map to notify him of the push out.
No, not whatsoever. I mean, it's hard to have it's hard to make overlords when you're forced to be remaking drones, right? Or remaking anything. But yeah, that was decently close, all things considered. It's just in the end, ByuN really understood how to slow down the Zerg opponent and get to hit such a potent timing.
Oh yeah. Yeah, definitely. Like he was just ultra aggressive, and I mean, sure, Solar was able to deal some counter damage, but at the same time, Solar was incredibly greedy. He was working on his own 1-1 upgrades, so he prioritized that over like Banelings and Baneling speed and lair. Like that was oof.
That was I couldn't have said it better myself. But there is no need to speak anymore. Only to sing or screamo or wait, what's it called? Death Growl here on Death Aura LE. We're in the bottom right-hand corner of the map, swatting all the way in the bottom right-hand corner. We have the blue Zerg player coming out of the land of Korea. He is representing KyZ Gaming, KZG, the brightest young lad in all of Korea. He is Solar Powered.
And spawning in the top left-hand corner of Death Aura LE, we have the South Korean Terran player, the Red Terran, the returning military veteran. He's currently up 1-0 in this best of 3 round of 16 match. Can you believe it? These guys, they faced each other in the semifinals before in a regular best of 5, but here they are in the round of 16. It is ByuN.
And you mentioned earlier that it was really weird that a team hasn't picked up ByuN yet, but is it that weird? Because if you'll remember, after ByuN, or sometime in 2017, ByuN just straight up left his team, Team Expert, and decided, you know what, I'm just going to be teamless for the rest until I go into the military.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of up in the air whether that was by choice or not. I mean, when it comes to after his departure from Team Experts, I'm sure like if there was a team, a solo team willing to support him, like I don't think he would turn down TL. You know, yeah.
You're just hinting at school right now. I'm just saying.
Just saying. Nazgul at him in Twitter. But yeah, we'll see what happens in 2021, because so far in the year 2020, like ByuN, he hasn't even been back for a full year, right? Like,
yeah, so he's been back for what, a couple of months? He's basically just been back for a single GSL season, as far as competitive StarCraft 2 is concerned.
Yeah, so again, like it's still like very fresh, you know, it's still up in the air, like the form he is in and what kind of like heights can ByuN achieve at the moment. I do believe that we're all kind of seeing him get better and better week after week, you know, get stronger and stronger, and eventually we'll see, you know, if he's going to plateau or if he's going to be that champion that we know he used to be.
I just hope his hands are don't die.
Yeah.
Or his wrists don't die.
Yeah.
That's all. That's it. That's all I'm hoping for.
For sure. Either that or, you know, we need technology in South Korea to advance to the point where we have robotic like limbs. Then there we go.
But then what would the implications be for like esports or even regular sports, right?
True. How would that work? We need some new rules for that.
What if they can give you a bionic hand, but in exchange, to make it fair, they have to take one of your eyes to have an eye patch on. You don't have as much depth perception.
You know, I don't think that's how it works. I don't.
I mean, what do you mean? What do you mean? You know, you got a nerf to buff. You got a nerf in one area to buff another. That's how game balance works.
I don't think that's true. Sometimes you just buff, you know? Well, sometimes you just nerf.
I mean, yeah. Rip shamans.
Rip. God damn it, Yaku. All right, here we go. We are getting into this series, and yeah, ByuN, he did go for a much more economic opener compared to the previous 2 games, going for a much faster third CC, especially compared to game 1.
Yeah, not quite a 3cc before Starport. No, definitely a 3cc before Starport. Yeah. What am I saw one of the racks, and so I was like, yes, 2-on-1. Nope. So it's in fact going to be a 3 racks and a 3cc before Starport.
Yeah, incredibly greedy, and he's going to have quite a lot of Marines on his hands. I'm going to love to see how he utilizes them, and yeah, we didn't get to mention it, but Solar at the beginning of this game, he did also send his overlords over to the south and the north, once again, just scouting, making sure ByuN wasn't going for any kind of proxy or anything crazy like that.
Yeah, Solar is one of the most diligent Zerg players. He really wants to, know what his opponent's throwing at him so that he can formulate how he reacts. He is probably the definition of reactive Zerg.
Yeah, definitely. And I think I love what he's doing right now, because we do see that Solar, he's working on his double Evo upgrades even before starting his lair. So his upgrades are going to be so much faster compared to ByuN. And again, it's going to take a while for ByuN to really ramp up. So it's, you know, it's possible that Solar, he's going to have this lead and, you know, keep it for the rest of the game.
Yeah, that's absolutely going to be essential when you're going to be going Ling Bane or just about anything for Zerg. This means that the slings can survive, or any of these units really can survive that many more shots coming out from the Terran player and can connect with the Terran player better.
Yeah, definitely. And again, like what Solar's doing is that he's delaying his banelings so much to make this happen. But again, it's not like he needed them early. Like it wasn't like an incredibly early aggressive push coming out from ByuN. So he's gonna get away with that. And now we do see ByuN, he is finally pushing out, but these are medevac-less Marines.
Medevac-less Marines, they do not have combat shields. +1 will finish, or 1/1 will finish, but not before Solar gets his own. So yeah, it's interesting with how ByuN is playing this out. Medevac is being rallied to sort of meet with this.
Yeah, I'm curious to see how this is going to fare against these 1/1 Lings from Solar. He has plenty just around. It looks like 2 medevacs will join up with this. He even has a couple of banelings morphed in.
Ooh, a little bit of a misrally there with the Lings. ByuN finding a really good choke point, and now dropping right into the main.
Yeah, he does drop into the main, and so far he hasn't dealt too much economic damage again. Gets surrounded and going to be forced back. Oh, just barely keeps that medevac alive.
Wow. Yeah, not getting too much damage on here, just clearing out a little bit of creep. And this, to me, is looking like a bit of a... it's a bit of a twist on the 2-1-1.
Yeah, I mean, there were obviously so many more Marines to you know, push across the map, but yeah, like Solar, he wasn't overly greedy. Like he had plenty of Lings to defend, had a handful of Queens, even had a couple of banelings. It's not like there were any big baneling connections. It was just the threat of the banelings forcing ByuN back, and yeah, so far he's done well. Ooh.
Yeah, really good pick off here. The Drop Lord does have speed. The Drop Lord has speed. Is it going to be enough? It will barely be enough. ByuN, how's your rallies looking?
Jesus Christ. I mean, yeah, Solar, he's may try to go in later on. Meanwhile, it looks like the main armies are clashing here. ByuN, though, he does pick up just in time. Just in time.
Just out of range of that Queen, too. Even the Hydra is coming out over there. ByuN now starting to go for some multi-prongs. Really like this bait here from Solar. That is a useless Widow Mine, but not the one in the back. Not quite sure what that connected on, but now the banelings have been taken care of.
Yeah, they have been taken care of, and it looks like ByuN is reinforcing this with a handful more Widow Mines. I love this. We've seen this a lot from ByuN over the past weeks. You know, he has this force here to the south. He has a force over to the north as well, looking to reinforce that. So, yeah, looking to try and pounce, you know, catch Solar off guard, but Solar, he's on top of this.
Right on top. Unfortunately, banelings not quite on top of those Marines, but enough to chase away that force. The thing that's worrisome, though, is that ByuN already sent another double medevac drop to that location. Now he's pushing to the south.
Oh, he is pushing to the south. There is one. Oh my god! No! Jesus Christ! ByuN, he was paying attention somewhere else, and he just lost every single Marine.
Just like that. Imagine if he was paying attention to that single circling up there. But no, he was getting ready for this drop into the main base with these 2 medevacs.
Yeah, Jesus Christ. It was a little bit uncharacteristic losing all those, like that entire drop. Meanwhile, he does drop here into the main base. Gets a little bit of lane damage, but again, nothing when it comes to the drones.
Yeah, and that's the scary part for Solar, because now he's on 88 drones. This is the ideal number for Zerg. Even before he got to the late game, and now Solar, I mean, his Hive is finishing up. He's getting his Lurker upgrades, and what does ByuN have? He's still a Marine tank. That's not what you want against Hydra Lurker or Ling Bane.
Yeah, exactly. That's the thing. The entire time Solar, he's just been defending incredibly well, keeping all his workers alive, and because of that, he worked his way up to Hive. He's got Lurkers, he's got Vipers. It's all going to be ramping up for Solar, and ByuN, he has to do something to keep Solar back so he can transition into like Liberators or Thors or anything.
I'm hoping it involves this token Thor.
Yeah, I don't fully understand that. I think maybe he didn't scout the Hydrogen, so maybe he thought, oh, maybe he could go like Mutas or something. So getting it just in case? Question mark.
Yeah, it seems to be like it seems to be either for safety or a complete misclick. Here comes, ooh, that's a pretty good Baneling connection, but now Solar Soft creep. Good Widowmine hits, and the Baneling's taken care of with those tanks in the back. This is the ByuN micro that we've been waiting for, but now the Lurkers really gonna prevent anything from ByuN pushing in.
Exactly, Lurker range already done as well. He's working on that Lurker burst speed, and the Viper comes out, yoinks one of the tanks.
Immediately gonna be taking it out. I do like this for ByuN. He did force the Lurkers to get off a position, but he doesn't quite have the force he needs to really push down that ramp.
Yeah, I do love that, you know, now ByuN, he's aware of the Lurkers. He knows the kind of army composition Solar is going for, so he immediately starts Liberator production. That's going to be key here to kind of stop Solar. And Solar, he's forced to be defensive. Like ByuN, he's just trying to buy time so he can, you know, tech switch and get a more ideal army.
Yeah, that is just about the name of the game right now.
Part of me wants me to like ByuN to just sacrifice his Thor, just kill it. It's like dead supply right now, you know.
It can snipe a Viper. Don't underestimate a Thor, light. It's here because it wants to contribute.
Not anymore. That's the top of that Thor.
Yeah, that was not the most efficient trait here for ByuN, but this is not going to be an efficient trait whatsoever for Solar. So many tanks in the back line, and that's all the Lingbane gone. It is just the Lurkers, and to be fair, he does still have to be worried about the Lurkers. ByuN does. But he has bought himself enough breathing room. He still has a single medevac drop just to slow down Solar and get his attention wherever he can.
Yeah, I mean, that was a really questionable move by Solar, maybe a bit of an overconfident move. To be fair, Solar, he has so much bank, like you want to be trading as much as you can as a Zerg player, so eventually you can free up some supply and get into things like Ultras or more Lurkers, or in this case, you know, we do have Corruptors on the way to help deal with those Liberators.
Yeah, deal with the Liberators, can really snipe the medevacs as well. Just as a way to, this is a way to weaken the bio.
Oh god.
These Marines trying to swim on top of the Lurkers, and this is actually a really good split from ByuN, but not gonna be enough. And now the tanks, they're looking super exposed, like...
Oh god, yeah, there was nothing to protect the tanks. All the Marines were on the low ground, so every single tank is gonna go down.
And that was not too efficient for Solar, but that hurts ByuN so much more than it hurts Solar.
Oh yeah.
Because again, Solar, he's got this bank, he is sitting super comfy in terms of his economy. The Sentry will go down though. It's something.
It is something. Like ByuN, he needed something to go his way, and he was able to snipe that hatchery. But again, as you were saying, losing all those tanks hurts so much for ByuN. He doesn't really have a mineral bank. He's got the gas, not quite the minerals, and now Solar is looking to abuse the fact that he has all these corruptors, but ends up losing some in the process.
Yeah, I mean, what's a corruptor here and there against a Bioterran army? So if they're able to snipe the Liberators, that's already half their job done.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, speaking of, I mean, this Viper is a little bit out of position. We do see ByuN, he is pushing in. Ooh, the Lurker's out of position as well.
Ooh, that could be a really good pick-off there for ByuN, but decides not to pursue it. Instead, going to be concentrating his forces here into the base here for Solar. Couple more drones going down, but I mean, again, this is what Solar wants.
Yeah, definitely. We do see this Liberator, 5 kills so far, going to be sieging up, killing more, and oh my god, Solar!
The miscalculation. Such a ballsy move from Solar there, but ByuN on top of it.
Yeah, that was that. I don't want to say game ending, but that was a pretty big mistake, like essentially resetting your Lurker count like that.
I don't even want to call it a mistake so much. I would call it more of a bit of a miscalculation or misunderstanding of the situation. Okay, so essentially a mistake. Look, it would have been so cool if he borrowed the Lurkers into the mineral line, though, light.
It would have been cool. You know what? It'll be worth it if Solar's able to buy time before the counterattack, because again, he has 0 Lurkers. Now we have 3 more on the way, but in the process, he loses the hatchery, and Solar, he just goes across the map.
Yeah, he realizes that the bulk of ByuN's army is right on top of his face, and there's really not much of a force here by ByuN's side of the map. So these Banelings will crash in. Again, not the most efficient use of Banelings, but it is far past the time for ByuN to be worrying about it, or for Solar rather, to be worrying about efficient trades. There are ghosts out now. though.
There are ghosts, and it looks like he will hold on in his main base. Meanwhile, the rest of the army of ByuN tries to come back to help defend. Hopefully this time the tanks don't get caught out of position, don't get caught undefended, and they do not. The Marines are here, but oh god, he's gonna get surrounded.
But the lurkers rather are getting a bit caught out. But as you said, it's just a complete surround coming out from Solar. ByuN forced to pick up with the rest of his forces. He's got a lot of ghosts, but what's he gonna do with them?
Snipe away as best he can, and we'll see if he's going to be able to, as he's just getting more and more ghosts. Jesus Christ, I would argue that maybe he has enough, but ByuN, he doesn't believe so. He wants more of them, and to be fair, what he's done a good job of is, you know, killing these hatcheries. Like Solar, he just hasn't been able to expand. He's only just been able to take this center left-hand base and just trying to saturate it, but ByuN, he's going to try and apply pressure and stop that from happening.
Yeah, slowly but surely, ByuN has been really making sure that Solar's income advantage at his bank has getting closer to what ByuN's got. What worries me about ByuN's army, though, is that it's basically entirely bio. Okay, now he's starting to make some tanks.
Yeah, like, especially because the army composition Solar has, like, I don't think it's a bad idea to continue to pump out Widow Mines, right? Like, there's just so much Ling Bane here.
Yeah, Widow Mines wouldn't be too bad, or if ByuN decides to go for the more anchor style, where he would rather retreat to his tank line, that also helps. It depends on whether he wants to be more balanced or more aggressive. Really good snipes on these lurkers. Ghosts are a little bit exposed, but do manage to make it out of there.
Oh, they do manage to make it out, and it looks like ByuN had enough, or just barely enough. There are 3 Lings remaining dealing with that planetary. We'll see if ByuN is able to hold on to that. Meanwhile, his main focus is here over to the center left, pushing on this hatchery.
Yeah, and should be able to take it out. No detection there, so the Cloak Ghost will be able to take out quite a number of those lurkers. But now, Solar, he's everywhere on the map. These Lings, you realize, yeah, they're not going to be much use in that defense. Send them across the map, do some damage.
Exactly, they don't just do some damage, they actually pull the army of ByuN out of position, and oh my god, he just caught out!
Backed right into a wall over there, forced to pick up his entire army, almost losing them in these medevacs. And now everyone's question is, or at least my question is, where's the ghosts?
There they are!
They're not gonna do too much. Ooh, manual detonation there coming in from Solar, but a decent enough split from ByuN.
Yeah, exactly. Like the only thing ByuN really has left are these ghosts, and he does split quite well. It looks like he will be able to clean up, but how much damage did he take? How many workers did he lose? 20 SCVs. Looks like he's gonna lose the CC as well, as he's trying to trade as best he can, but Solar, like, he just had such a massive bank behind this.
Yeah, and it is continuing to grow right now. Look at that income difference. Solar at an absolute advantage. Miles ahead of ByuN right now. But I will say, ByuN, he is making use of what little that he's got. He's been trading very, very efficiently, and you have to think, you know, Solar, his bank isn't going to last forever, but it will, but it should be able to last long enough to take this, to force ByuN into war of attrition. Yeah,
definitely, especially because Solar, as soon as that engagement ended, he morphed in as many lurkers and banelings as he could. He has already got them ready to defend, and even getting on top of the army.
Yeah, surrounding the tanks over there. Oh, not the best position for the lurkers to be in, but gonna be good enough to start taking out these tanks. Ghosts have no energy, cannot snipe, cannot cloak. I think they can cloak, but it's not gonna last them too long. Let's drop once again. ByuN just buys himself more and more time as this game goes on, and to be fair, I would rate ByuN's late game to be in the above average, I would say.
Yeah,
not quite Maru level, but definitely up there.
Definitely. I mean, he's doing a really good job at just pulling Solar apart. Like, Solar just hasn't had the opportunity to kind of muster up his entire army and just push across the map. He would love to, and I think he had the opportunity a couple of times, but again, ByuN has just been distracting him, dropping wherever he can, applying pressure wherever he can, dealing as much damage. But now Solar, he's got all these lurkers going to be pushing in.
Yeah, that he will immediately. Tanks get bopped out. Some snipes coming down. Good snipes on a couple of these lurkers, but not going to be enough. Solar has so much army. Banelings crash right on top of the ghosts. And now it's pretty much the lurkers that are left. There's a decent amount of Marine Marauder. Not quite what you want against the lurkers, but ByuN barely able to hold this. but the important thing is, forced to lift up his base and will more than likely lose it. There we go, it goes down.
That he will. That's the problem, right? Like, ByuN, he's trading as best he can. He's getting so efficient, so many efficient snipes as well on those lurkers. But the problem is that he just doesn't have the money. He doesn't have the money to sustain his losses.
Yeah, lost a couple of units there unnecessarily. But here's the thing, like, look at the mineral count right now. Solar's lost his entire bank, pretty much. They're both on equal economic footing at the moment, but we'll see how long that lasts. Beautiful surround coming down here from Solar, and the lurkers really cleaning house. There is still some bio left, but between the queens and the lurkers, this should be pushed back here from ByuN. But again, another fairly efficient trade.
Well, I mean, what's scary?
Make any more lurkers?
Yeah, what's scary is that the ghost count was reset. There's only one lurker left, and it looks like, the transfuses keep it alive. We'll see if he's able to do so. Transfuse as best he can, but it does go down.
Yeah, not quite enough here. Now the queen so exposed off a creep, looking to get sniped. Solar sending a force of lings, and when there are this many marauders, the lings can do so much. But really good kiting coming out from ByuN. I cannot believe what I'm witnessing right now.
Oh my god, but the CC dies again, and that's really what Solar wanted. As soon as the CC went down, he pulls back, he's trying to regroup, and ByuN, like, this is such a slugfest. Like, they both barely got anything. ByuN, he's just got this Bioforce and tanks, no ghosts. Meanwhile, there's, one lurker on the way for Solar and just Ling Bane.
Sit on top of the ByuN, sit on top of the ByuN. Oh, Solar keeping it alive with those lings. Sit on top of the ByuN, he stims right on top. Another queen starting to go down, but there are so many Bailings out right now, like, I don't think we can split well enough. The Lings come in. This is looking like the final stand here for ByuN. GG is called. Solar evening up that series, sideways 1-1. I feel like I looked into the eye of the universe that game, Light. That was, as you said, such a slugfest.
That was on a knife's edge there at the end. Like, ByuN, there were just a couple of times where Solar, his engagements were so beautiful. He was able to get the best surrounds possible. And I do believe that at the end there, if ByuN had only kept like 2 or 3 ghosts alive, that would have helped so much, sniping the queen, sniping the lurkers, making it a little bit easier to deal with. But it was a combination of things, right? Like, the corruptors in the sky, they made sure there weren't any medevacs, so ByuN, he couldn't pick up, he could barely stim. Like, it was crazy.
Oof. Solar had 580 APM that game.
He did.
That is, even for Zerg, that is high.
That's pretty amazing. Wow, Solar is kind of, he's taken the mantle of Losira, and 500 APM. ByuN not too far behind.
Actually, yeah, for Terran, 382, that's quite a lot. I think the standard for Terran is around 330, something along those lines. 300, when it comes to the pro players anyway, it's about like 230, I want to say. Or 320. Did I say 230? I meant 300. I meant 320. I meant 320. We're changing how numbers work here.
Oh boy, but GG, Solar does end up taking that win in the end. And now we're tied up 1-1. We're going to that ace match.
That we are. This is where ByuN proxies. And this is where Solar's scouting for proxies pays off.
Oh god, that'll be quite a way to end the series if that's what happens. Yeah, I was curious to see how the other series were going, because this one is quite long, since we are going to that ace match, but apparently there are longer ones. You know, Creator, he's still waiting for DRG versus Drink.
Goddamn.
Surprisingly.
Goddamn.
Yeah, and you know, when it comes to the other matchups, like, of course, we were expecting Patience versus Armani. That's amazing. The winner of that is going to be going up against Dark. Dark already 2-0'd Rex and is waiting in the quarterfinals. Speaking of players waiting in the quarterfinals, Time is waiting for the winner of Max 7 Special as well.
Oh, we're getting pretty close, Light. Thank you to a Twitch viewer 1 for contributing that much to the Española intro. We are less than 2,000 away from that. It's coming, Light. It's coming. Hopefully we can delay it if we're able to cast special. Hopefully we'll be able to delay it till then, but yeah, we'll see. And there we go. Thank you very much, Insano, for filling out that challenge. We will be having intro español.
Oh my god.
Número. Wait.
That song doesn't go up to 7. That song doesn't go up to 7, Yaku. Número 7. Oh my god, mate. Are you ready for a Spanish intro right now with the next series? I don't know if you have Google Translate ready.
I wanted to late. I gotta be real honest with you, Light. I wanted to late. See if we can cast special, like the late till then.
No, yeah, 100%. Okay, we'll do that.
All right. Well, yeah, we'll see if that happens. If not, then we'll pick some of the series. But we'll have to wait a little bit till then. For now, we are going to be on Oxide LE. We be oxidizing, we be breathing, as is the player here in the bottom left-hand corner map, spawning all the way in the bottom left-hand corner. The Blues player coming down from Atlanta, Korea. He is going to be representing TvZ Gaming, KZG. He is the brightest Solar.
And spawning in the top right-hand corner of Oxide LE, we have the South Korean Terran player, the Red Terran, currently representing himself as he is teamless, tied up 1-1 in this best of 3 in this round of 16 match. We have ByuN.
Oh boy.
Oh boy, indeed. And yeah, it's so rough. We didn't get to talk about it, but it's such a shame that one of these players, they're going out in the round of 16.
Yeah, an absolutely stacked bracket, 45th edition. Something about that number. It's a 4 and then a 5.
It is.
Yeah. We want to make it. It's kind of like 50, but you know, the younger 50.
Sure. Yeah. The golden years, if you will. And yeah, like it is a very stacked bracket. I know we were really missing some of these players, you know, a week or two ago, like especially the Protoss players, but now the other races have really stepped it up, you know, Special, Time, Rogue, Dark, Solar, ByuN, Dream is back. Like, it's really sick to see.
Patience is here. Patience is always here.
Armani, Ragnarok, they're always here as well.
You heard about our trolls from last week.
I wanted some of that patience, and hopefully we get to see more of him later on today. Fingers crossed.
Yeah, but for now, instead, we're going to be watching ByuN pull off a 2-on-1. Plenty of diversity that ByuN has been showing us in this series. Starting off that straight-up 1-1-1 Hellbat, going into a 3cc before Starport now. A bit of an, I want to call it old-school build. This was kind of ByuN's bread and butter, you could argue, back when he was really at the top of the world.
Yeah, I was about to say that ByuN, like, he's continuing to do this, where he just avoids the Reaper Scout entirely. He's like, you know what, I'm not going to get, like, any damage done, I'm not going to really deny the third base because my opponent's Solar, like, I'm just going to give up on all of that, and I'm just going to skip it, you know, be a little bit more greedy, be a little bit more, I guess, risky in terms of, like, if Solar is going for, like, some kind of big aggression that needs to be scouted, and kind of, yeah, open up like this instead.
Yeah, but it is a calculated risk, isn't it?
Definitely.
Bit of that, metagaming going on.
Yeah, metagaming, or, you know, rolling the dice a little bit, gambling. Meanwhile, Solar, you know, just like he has every single game this series, he also Overlord scattered all over the map just to make sure there wasn't a proxy, and we'll see how hard this is going to hit, as Solar, I don't believe he has scouted this. He's trying to go in with his Overlord, but there is a Marine to deny him.
Just like so. Just like so. And now it's a bit of the calm before the storm, shall we call it? Before the medevacs load up and boost right across the map.
Yeah, I would be a little bit concerned if Solar does what he's been doing recently and he goes for like double evos, like double evos and double evo upgrades, because again, these Marines are going to hit hard and he desperately needs to make sure he has enough army to deal with that. Yeah,
or if he can try to get a delay here from ByuN, he sees the amount of Marines that he's got, so that should just about be the tip-off. Single evo for now. So Solar is really focusing on his defense. He's getting more and more Lings, which is what you want against the 2-on-1.
Yeah, exactly. Like Solar knows 100%. Like he scouted to make sure that it wasn't a bluff, that ByuN actually was pushing out, and he did confirm that. So he knows that there are going to be Marines across the map, and he should have enough here to defend with all these queens and all these Lings.
Yeah, it's definitely looking that way, but we'll see what kind of magic ByuN can throw out from, whatever choke points you can find. Oxide, it's a very narrow and very choke point oriented map. Decent kiting coming off of ByuN. He is still on creep though, so he's playing with fire, but the kiting from ByuN, the stutter stepping that he's showing us, look at how he's just completely cut that Ling count in half. He is stimming so hard, but it's actually paying off for him.
Oh,
so
yeah.
Fuses down.
It is. Yeah, 20 Lings are on the way, and Solar is trying desperately to make sure that he keeps his drones alive. He even pulls them desperately to make sure he doesn't fall, and it looks like the stutter stepping is just too much for ByuN. Jesus Christ!
I was about to say that the medevacs are out of energy. He should look into it like lifting up and getting away, but no! ByuN eking out as much damage as he can. 10 drones going down. I don't even want to look at how many queens have died or how many Lings have died. In the end, only 2 Marines make it out, but that was insane. That was insane. Look at the resources lost.
Mate, 8 queens and 56 Lings died to two drops of medevacs. Those were 0-0 Marines. They just had stim. Combat shields is only just finishing up, and now we have the second round. ByuN, he was even able to keep a couple of his Marines alive, keep one of his medevacs alive, and he's going for the second push. Bailey Nest isn't even done. Again, Solar just has to rely on his queens and Lings, and we already saw how many queens already died.
How many times have you heard Lings can be remade? Well, it can, but this early on, if you're losing 56 of them, that's what, half of 560 minerals. GG is called ByuN. I cannot believe it. And it's not just that he's so good with his micro, right? It's not just that he was stutter stepping so well. It's that he was so decisive with it too. It's that he decided, you know what? I know I can win this engagement. I know I can take this. I can completely get rid of your queens and all your Lings. I know I have the micro to do it. I'm confident. I've made my decision. There's a reason why ByuN is the inspiration for every Terran player out there, I've got to say. At least in the micro department.
I'm in shock right now because, okay, so a couple of things happened, right? So Solar, he scouted this. He knew it was coming, and it's not like he was, like, after he scouted it, he didn't drone up at all. He didn't make any more workers. He made nothing but Lings. He had 8 queens, Yaku. He had 8 queens on the front line.
Exactly, he prepared correctly.
Like
he prepared correctly.
If you're a lesser player like me, all right, like I would throw down like a spine as well, but like you don't a player like Solar, like you don't need that, it's inefficient to throw down like stack defense. You don't expect like 2 medevacs full of Marines to deal that much damage. Like that's crazy. That's actually crazy.
My God. And those were 0-0 Marines. They didn't even have combat shields until the end there.
Like, okay, so you could argue that this hit a little bit faster, and it did because he skipped the Reaper, obviously, right? Like, he skipped the Reaper to be able to go across the map with a couple more Marines and a little bit, a little bit sooner than you would expect. But, like, again, Solar, he knew this was coming. He was trying to prepare as best he can. I think he himself was, he was like, what is happening? Like, he himself didn't expect to deal that much damage.
Because he already made the proper calculation. I mean, this Solar, he saw every variable. He saw most of the variables out there. He saw, okay, 2-on-1, what is effective against the 2-on-1? A lot of Zerglings. Maybe try to get us around. Get as many queens as I can for transfuse, for anti-air, to take out the Marines. He did not factor in the ByuN factor, the ByuN variable. He completely forgot to put that in his calculation. My God, chat. Even chat right now, I'm looking at it, they are They cannot believe what they've just witnessed.
I can't believe what I've just witnessed, mate. That was beautiful, and that was also disgusting because oh my god. Again, like, you don't expect for a 2-on-1 opening, like, you don't expect Solo to like get a Baneling Nest out. Like, that's like doing things like getting a Baneling Nest out and getting like spines out, like, it's kind of like an inefficient way to deal with it. Yeah.
It's way too expensive this early on, and you know that you don't have the time to like wait for the spine to finish building, wait for the Baneling Nest to finish up, and then start morphing in your lings. You need to get a defense out that is as cost efficient as possible.
Yeah.
And which is why the lings are the standard choice, right? For Zero players to deal with this. But
yeah, like the standard thing is like, all right, you got your queens, the queens focus on the medevacs, and the lings focus on the marines, and then you just push it away. Like, and even ByuN wasn't expecting to win with that because he had 1-1 on the way behind this. He had combat shields on the way. Like, he was macroing up. Like, like, he was just doing his thing. But you know what? He just stutter stepped his way to victory. I love it in the chat. Solar was struck by a smooth step. Oh my god. Someone get tempo on that. He needs to make a song parody just for ByuN. Like, my god.
If we throw enough money at him, we might be able to commission that. No, he doesn't do commissions.
Oh my god.
My mouth is still wide open, Light.
That was crazy. I can't stop smiling. My cheeks are hurting.
I mean, you know this. I mean, you've talked to me about this like before in the past, and we've brought it up before in broadcasts, but there are games that you watch, or sometimes even just players who do a certain move that you look at and you think, all right, I'm going to pull up a ladder sesh, I'm going to do that. Or that's what I want to do. Like, I know I'm not going to be able to do it, but, or at least not at the same level as ByuN, but man.
That's crazy.
Making me believe is something that it's something that I always appreciate. I don't know how else to put it.
Yeah, definitely. Like, GG, well played. ByuN takes out Solar and moves on to the quarterfinals. And you may be wondering, like, yo, all right, we're not just sitting here processing what we just saw. We're also waiting for another series.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I'm doing. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, we are waiting for another series. As we mentioned earlier on, the brackets are absolutely stacked today, and some of these series have been going on for quite some time. Ragnarok versus Dream, still seeing which of them are going to face Rogue. Dogrigu and Creator still looking at which of them are going to face ByuN. Patience Armani, really wish we would have been able to get into that. But yeah, waiting to see who's going to be facing the Dark there. Maxed versus Special. You'll see who's going to go up against Time in that quarterfinals.
Yeah, definitely. Like, any of these matches will be amazing. We're probably going to jump on the first one we see as everyone is waiting, like Dark and ByuN and Time. We're all just kind of chilling here. I think Time is even in a ladder session at the moment. Yeah, just waiting for some of these round of 16 matches to close up.